got Breakthrough coming up, not this Thursday, but next Thursday is Breakthrough. Can you get one more person to Breakthrough? Breakthrough is going to be epic. I spent some time this weekend going through the agenda with Andy. It is going to be epic. We have the 2 different rooms for breakout. For all the new breakout students, you're going through the Marcus set of Breakthrough. Let me tell you something. That training typically costs well over $5,000. He does it in Europe for big companies, big organizations. I'm so excited for everybody that's going through it the first time. I'm telling you, it is like looking in the mirror for the first time going, wow, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what has been holding me back. This is what's no longer going to hold me back. This is what I'm going to do. It is deep, inner, reflecting. I mean, it's powerful. So I'm so excited for everybody that's going through that. Then on the other hand, for those of us that have been through it, we've got the Breakthrough with all the top leaders in the other room. We'll be able to co-manage. It's going to be so exciting. We've never had an event like this, and we'll never have another event like this. I promise you. I'm telling you, if you can just get one more person to Breakthrough, if you're sitting on the fence going, I don't know, just one more person to Breakthrough, one more person to Breakthrough. Can you get one more? I'm going to try and get one more today. All right. Here's what I want to talk about today. Connection, how to connect faster. People that make things happen fast are people that are good at connecting fast. People that can't get stuff done with people, can't get people to move. They're just bad at connecting with people. The speed at which you connect and the ability to connect, that is massive, massive, multi-million-dollar skills. Again, what business are we in? The business of moving people. Whether it's writing a policy, whether it's recruiting an agent, whether it's trying to get a newly recruited agent to move, we're always trying to get people to move. A key thing to getting people to move is the ability to connect and connect fast and connect deep. Once you get that connection, you can move so fast. Think about when you sell a policy, the connection that you have is going to determine whether or not they're going to write that application. And the connection you develop is going to determine whether that policy stays on the books. When people have a lot of policies cancel, it's just simply because they haven't built good connections. When a good connection is built, a policy is written and a policy stays on the books, which again, that's what we're after. We want real protection, real change for these families. So the policy not only has to be written, it has to stay on the books. Connection is the magic that makes that happen. It not only creates the sale, it keeps the sale on the books. The same thing with recruiting. If someone can get someone contracted, maybe they can get a ton of people contracted, but they can't seem to get anybody moving. It's a connection issue. It's simply a connection issue. Or I talk to a lot of people, but can't get anybody to join the team. I get people to join the team, but I can't get them to move. It's a connection issue. The deeper the connections that you can build and the faster you can build these connections, the faster people will start to move on your team. Now, the things I'm going to talk about today, it's 7 things on how to connect faster. These 7 things absolutely work. Not only have I seen them work for me, these 7 things, psychologists will tell you this is how you create connections. This is how people connect. So these 7 things, I'm telling you, if you write them down, if you put them into work for you, it will make a massive, massive difference for you. Now, these 7 things are on top of what I teach in sales. What do I teach in sales as far as connection? The 3 C's of connection, right? First of all, compliment, commonality, comedy, right? Compliment somebody. Find something you can genuinely compliment them about. And it has to be that genuine compliment. When you can genuinely compliment somebody, you are on the road to connection. What's the other thing I talk about in the 3 C's? Commonality, finding something that we have in common. That's what we've got to get to. What do you and I have in common? And then, of course, the 3rd C is sharing a laugh. There is nothing like sharing a laugh with someone to build a bridge, to build a connection. When you share a laugh, you just feel the distance close. So the 7 things I'm going to talk about are all centered to those things. Does that make sense? Like it's what's behind the 3 C's. These 7 things will help you check all those boxes to establish a connection and establish it quick so that you can get people to move. You can get the policy sold. You can keep the policy on the books. You can get the person to join your team, and you can get them to move, getting policies on the books and getting people to join their team. All right, here's number one. And it has to start with this number one. This is the most important. The people that struggle with connecting, that struggle with making real connections, this is the number one thing that they're missing. And we go back to whether it's I can't get someone to buy a policy. I can't get that policy they don't keep the policy. I can't get a new person to join my team. I can't get any of these new people to move. It's this number one is massive. If you want to accomplish those 3 C's in the house, you've got to have number one. And number one is something you cannot fake. You cannot fake, and nothing will happen until you get number one done. What's number one? Genuinely like people. You have to genuinely like people. I was coaching a guy one time, and he says, man, let me tell you something. I just hate people. And I was like, this is going to be a hard deal then. I don't like people. Maybe you should work at the DMV. that seems to be okay there. I don't know what to do for you if you don't like people. Why would you not like people? People are amazing. You got to genuinely like people, though. It's the same difference you've seen. Maybe you've seen a really good hotspot meeting, and then you've seen just an okay hotspot meeting. Does the speaker genuinely like people? As a salesperson, do you genuinely like the people you're sitting with? As a builder, do you genuinely like the people you're bringing on your team? Do you genuinely like the people you're talking to? Now you say, hold up, Stephen, time out. Some people you just can't like. Some people just can't like. Okay, I'll give you that. Some people are just bound and determined to make themselves unlikable. Or at least it seems that way from what you and I observe about them. I'll give you that. But here's the thing. If we let that person change our posture towards people, then we have now put that person in charge of our future. It's no different than some of the things you'll go through in building. We have people lie to. We have people do terrible things to policyholders. I mean, just do terrible things, right? Terrible business, pull a scam, pull a scheme. Where you have people that, but you have to continue to genuinely like people. Otherwise, you're granting control over your future to someone else. Genuinely like people. Here's why. People like people who like them. People like people who like them. You know that. I know that, right? I like you because you like me. I feel like this is the Barney theme song. People like people who like them. Who do people do business with? People that like them, people that they like. Liking someone instantly increases your likability. Me liking someone instantly increases my likability. Now, here's what it's about. It's about a posture towards the world. And you can sum that posture up with one question. Before you get into any interaction, here's the question. I wonder what I'm going to like about this person. Can you see how that's a helpful posture? I wonder what I'm going to like about this person. That is such a helpful posture. Now, are you going to be perfect at it? No. Am I perfect at it? No, I'm not perfect at it. I'm just trying to be better. I'm trying to start more interactions from that posture instead of just rolling into the interaction. When we have non-productive interactions with people, it's because we just roll into the interaction. Before you have any interaction with someone, time out, pause, don't press call yet. I wonder what I'm going to like about this person. And then start the interaction. That beautiful bit of curiosity, that posture towards people, I'm telling you, will create magic in creating connections between you and people. I wonder what I'm going to like about this person. Now, with that posture, with that question having been asked, with you and me adopting that posture towards our interactions with others, what are we going to look for? We're going to look for stuff we like about people. What are we going to find? We're going to find stuff we like about people. We've all done the opposite, right? Let's just admit we've all done the opposite. We've all entered an interaction and made a snap judgment about someone like, oh, I don't like this guy. Then what do we see? All we see is stuff we don't like about. Oh yeah, that's right. This is why I don't like that guy. No, I don't like that either. I don't like that either. I don't like that either. We started seeing all the things that we don't like because we entered the interaction already prejudiced, going, I don't like that guy. Oh, I don't like him. So the opposite posture is how to create genuine like of people. Wonder what I'm gonna like about this person. It's funny, I was preparing this content as I'm traveling last week. And every time someone sit down next to me on the plane, I'm going, I wonder what I'm gonna like about this person. I wonder what I'm gonna like about this person. Let me tell you something. Because of that, I met way cooler people on this trip than the last trip I took. And he's like, well, do you mean statistically you met cooler people? I met what I think are cooler people. Why? Because I was preparing this content and I'm like, well, I've got to use it. And so they sit down, I'm like, I wonder what I'm like this person. I met some of the coolest people. Isn't that insane? It's like a lens towards the world. It's like a lens towards the world. So before you make that call, before you make that dial, before you walk into that appointment, before you do that interview, before you approach that person about the business, I wonder what I'm going to like about this person. I'm telling you, it's magic. It's magic. Let me tell you something. I'm happier. I'm happier just from using this lens while traveling. What lens do you think most people use when they travel? That opposite lens. All right. So number one, genuinely like people. We've got the question to create the posture to find things we like about people. Now what? Number two, massive. Smile and use open body language. Smile and use open body language. I'm telling you something, taking time to practice your smile will go a long way in connecting. It's not only, you say, well, I shouldn't have to practice smiling. Do it, practice it. Get in front of a mirror, practice smiling. What kind of smile can you radiate to the world? The better your smile, the better my smile, the more people are going to like us. And open body language. Open body language when we're talking. Now, here's what's crazy. People hear open or closed body language even on the phone. Even on the phone. Try it. Try it. The next time that you're on the phone, try opening up your body language. It puts a more relaxed, open version of you through the phone to the other person. And guess what that is? A more likable version of you, a more likable version of me. Same thing in the whole open body language. This is closed body language. Open body language, smile and open body language. That creates connection. Your shoulders, I'm telling you, open it up, watch what happens. You will build connections quicker. Smile and open body language, and practice the smile too. Practice your smile. It's the habit of smiling. Now, I was talking to someone and I said, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. Well, could you tell your face? We've all seen that, right? No, I'm good. Okay, tell your face. Practice a good smile and use open body language. Watch how much easier it is to do the 3 C's. Can you see how each of these is going to make checking all those boxes on the 3 C's? Can you see how it's going to make it easier? So number one, genuinely like people. Number two, smile and open body language. Just watch what it does. You use it at breakthrough. On the breaks, smile, open body language. See what it does. When you're sitting, taking notes, smile, open body language. See what it does. I'm telling you, it will make every experience more enjoyable. Can you see how these all kind of build on each other, right? If I'm going to have to genuinely like people, might as well smile. Can you see how it builds on each other? I go with that posture of genuinely liking people. I smile and I bring an open posture. I'm already increasing my likability, which again, people like people that like them. Me liking you instantly increases my likability. Me smiling and having that open body language to give back to the interaction makes you like me even more. We just keep building here. All right, number 3, share something genuine about yourself. Share something genuine about yourself. Can you see how all of these require genuineness? Does that make sense? You can't get around it. And it's why some people struggle to get a sale done or struggle to get anybody moving on their team because they don't, the genuineness is missing. You've got to genuinely share something meaningful about yourself. Share something meaningful about yourself. People like that. Now, be crystal clear. I'm not talking about oversharing, right? You ever have an interaction with an oversharer? It's like, we just met, and now I know all the drama in your life, and I know everything that went wrong, and I know everybody that's out to get you, and I know, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuinely share something about yourself, something meaningful about yourself. How do I know if it's something meaningful about myself? That's a good question. Well, how do you feel when you think about sharing it? How do you feel when you think about sharing it? That will tell you if it's something meaningful. One of the things I like to genuinely share that's very meaningful to me, especially in a sales situation. If I find out they've been married for a long time, I say, hey, that is awesome. That's getting my compliment, right? That is awesome. My wife and I have been married 24 years. This past July, we've been married 24 years. It's awesome to see folks like you that are in it for the long haul. We're drafting right up behind you. Can you see how we're building connections with just a few simple sentences? Share something meaningful about yourself. By the way, when we're in the sale, what we teach about the stories, that's sharing something meaningful about yourself. When you look through the flow of the appointment, right, as we teach it, you'll see that you'll see these sprinkled all throughout there. Sharing a meaningful story about someone you know that passed away, that's meaningful. Does that make sense? Now, here's what it requires: being real, being genuine, being transparent. Now, hear me crystal clear. It's being the best real, transparent, genuine version of ourselves. Being the best real, transparent, genuine version of ourselves. Because you ever heard someone cop out, like they behave poorly, they treat people poorly, or they lose their temper a lot, and they say, that's just who I am. That's just who I am. That's not what I'm talking about. Losing your temper is not, that is not an adult coping skill. That is not a mature coping skill. I'm talking about what would the best version of you and me do? Wait a second, I got to try and be my best every day. You and me both. I'm in this with you. I'm in this with you. The best, real, transparent, genuine version of yourself. And again, this is about posture. If I'm going to, in my interactions, be the best version of myself and be real and transparent and genuine in that, that's going to require me working on me every day. Can you see why it's so vital to read something positive, to put some good stuff in every single morning for at least 15 minutes? Can you see how that's going to help with all this stuff? So share something meaningful about yourself. Let it come from the best, real, genuine, transparent version of you. All right, number 4. This is big. Stay curious, ask lots of questions. Stay curious, ask lots of questions. Have you ever seen a great interviewer? I mean, think about a great interviewer, someone that has a talk show and they're just a great interviewer. How much do they talk about themselves? Very little, if at all. You think about, like, if you ever watch Jay Leno, he's a great interviewer. People love him. All his guests, they always fell in love with him. Notice how they operate. Notice how a great talk show host operates. They ask questions, but their questions come from a place of genuine curiosity. And again, have you noticed how many times I've said genuine? Ask questions, stay curious, genuine curiosity. I'm not asking questions in order to get data out of you that will tell me how to get you to do something. That's not what we're talking about here. That's not a real connection. People feel handled. Guess what? They'll quit your team. People feel handled. They'll drop the policies. Stay genuinely curious. And by the way, are any of us perfect at these things? Nope. That's why it's good reminders. Genuinely curious, ask questions. Now, here's what I'll tell you. This is a maturity thing. Don't put someone on the spot. We're not here to grill them or play 20 questions, but ask genuine questions. Genuine questions about them, about their life. And again, what's everybody's number one favorite subject? What's your favorite subject? What's my favorite subject? Isn't it ourselves? When you stay curious and ask people genuine questions, they're going to love giving you answers, and they're going to like you more. If they like you more, you got a connection. All right, number 5 ties right in with that. Actively listen. People that connect well are active listeners. People that don't connect well, they're thinking about what they're going to say next. In fact, they can't wait for you to shut up because I got something to say. We've all been in those interactions, right? Where we're observing someone like, man, they can't wait for me to shut up so they can say what they want to say. I don't even know why they ask me a question, because they sure as heck don't want to hear what I have to say. They just can't wait to say what they're going to say next. How do you feel in those interactions? It's not a good feeling. How much do you like that person? Not very much. Actively listen. Now, sometimes what keeps us from actively listening is worry about what we're going to say next. For you and I, we genuinely like people. So when we fall into that trap of thinking about what we're going to say next, it's not because we're not valuing the person. It comes from nerves of, I got to know what I'm going to say next. I got to prepare what I'm going to say next. I got to prepare something to say. I got to know what I'm going to say. That's where it's coming from. So let me give you a truth that will free you up. A pause after they finish speaking is one of the best things that can happen. In other words, don't worry about what you're going to say next. Worry about what they're saying. Take a minute and then respond. Here's why. A pause after someone shares something, when you and I let that space set in after they get done talking, here's what it tells them. I value you enough to process what you said. So that nerve, that thing that'll start coming up like, I gotta know what to say next. The best thing that can happen is a gap in the conversation, because it tells them, I heard what you said. I value you enough to process it. Let me tell you something. The feeling of being heard and the feeling of being loved are so close, the average person can't tell the difference. So that pause after they get done talking, that's the best thing that could happen. So don't let that worry get to you and you start thinking about what you're going to say. Do I do that? Yeah, I'm fighting it too. I'm reminding myself, just like I'm reminding you, to let that pause sink in and go, and watch the response you give. You'll feel the space between the two of y'all just shrink up. I'm telling you. All right, number 6, practice empathy. Here's what empathy means. Empathy means your pain in my heart. Empathy means your pain in my heart. Why is this after active listening? Makes sense, doesn't it? I've got to hear what you're saying and think through how I would feel under those same circumstances. When you're selling a policy to a lovely, just wonderful, nice widow, and she's telling you what she went through when her husband passed and how she doesn't want any of that to fall on her kids or grandkids. Practicing empathy is taking a second to think, wow, how would I feel if I had lost my spouse and I don't want to put anything on my children, and I'm thinking about that? Just taking a second to take their pain or their feeling or their worry, put it in your heart, process through that lens. I'm telling you, you will build massive connections with people. The other thing that's going to be interesting as you go through all these things is the word count will be less coming from you. You will use less words. It's very interesting when you do this. Pay attention. You will use less words. And what do we teach about persuasion? What do the best persuaders do? They have the lowest word count. Low performers, high word count. They're just high performers, low word count. Can you see how all these things are going to drive down the word count? You're going to say less words. They're going to be more impactful, and we're going to build deeper connections. All right, last one, number 7. Use body language to move people. Use body language that moves them towards engagement. Now, how do I do that? 3 things: mirror, match, move. Mirror, match, move. How do I do that? Well, most of the time when you sit down with a client, they're going to be not engaged. So what do? Mirror, match that same posture. They got their arms crossed. Sit down, go ahead and cross your arms. Watch what happens. So now we've mirrored and matched. Slowly move towards engagement and open body language. Watch what it does the other watch what the other person does. They will move towards engagement. This is one of the magic, like, just, it's like this is a trick card. This is a trick play. This is like in like when you're playing cards, this is a trump card. This always wins. They're not engaged. So I sit down, mirror, match, and then move towards engagement. Watch what they do. They will start imitating your movements. So just remember that: mirror, match, move. Guys, these 7 things I absolutely have used throughout my career to create connections, to build connections fast. And when I remember to do them, I'm reminded how well they work. Last week traveling, I'm just telling you, it's so funny. I'm like going, man, I met some of the coolest people traveling this week. I'm like, oh, number 1, yeah, no, there you go. I'm telling you, these 7 things will create connections. Once you and I, the better we can stay, right? We're always on a spectrum. We're always on a spectrum. The more we can stay towards building connections quickly, genuinely, and deeply, I'm telling you, the more people we're going to move, the more policies we're going to sell, the more people are going to join our team, the more people we're going to have at events. And remember, who's got the most people at the events? That's going to be the fastest growing people in the whole company, right? It's not like some miracle like secret that Mike Guerra and Nick Greco and Dan Hoyt and those guys all have. It's not like some secret sauce they've got. It's just that they have more people at events. These things will help you move more policies, move more people to events. And I'm telling you, it's going to create some crazy stuff. I am so insanely excited about Breakthrough next week. I cannot wait to get there. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to spend some time with you there. I can't wait to hear what we're going to hear. The sense of paranoia I operate with is always that I don't know when what I'm going to need to hear is going to be said. So I'm going to put myself everywhere it possibly could be said. So excited about the people joining the team. So excited about what's going on. Guys, Holly and I love you. We want you to win more than you can possibly understand. We want this next few months here. We've got October, November, December. We got a little bit of September left. We're coming up on the 4th quarter. What you and I do now has everything to do with what we will get done in 2024. And we want 2024 to be an epic record-breaking year for you and your family. Love y'all. Let's get after it.